there, welcome to Yoga with Amber Kleid. I, of course, am Amber. We're going to do a good morning stretch today. Super gentle, super slow, and just an incentive to get out of bed and start moving. If you're anything like me, you wake up stiff as a board. Doesn't help that I have two cats laying on me all night. And if you are an animal lover and you let your animals sleep with you, you know how the guilt sets in if you want to move positions. So you end up staying in the same position all through the night. Or maybe it's just that you have stiff joints. Maybe you missed your movement practice yesterday and you just need to slowly get out of bed to get on with your day. So I'm so happy that you've joined me today. And if you like this class, please like, subscribe, give me a little comment, send me a little love, and I will do the same right back to you. So all you'll need today is a mat. I'm going to use my blocks in a position or two just to make it a little bit more gentle. You're welcome to do that as well. You can grab a bolster or pillows to do that as well too. So if you'd like to join me, I'm just going to go ahead and start by lying on my back, which is always an awesome way to start out a practice. So just resting on your back, finding a little space in between the shoulder blades. Soles of the feet against the ground to begin. Go ahead and bring the palms of the hands and rest them next to your thighs. And let's just close our eyes. And if for some reason that's not very comfortable, you can just gaze up at the ceiling. That's totally fine. But I invite you just to take a couple of deep breaths. And while you're here, kind of assess how the body feels. Notice places that are tight. And notice the places that feel good as well. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in what doesn't feel good, we forget to notice what does feel really good. So I invite you to check into that at this moment as you continue to breathe. And just allow yourself to settle in. So to begin our short practice today, we're going to hone in on the pelvic area. So I'd love it if you sort of pressed your soles of your feet into the mat and then rotated your pelvis so your pubic bone kind of reaches towards the ceiling and your low back settles into the floor, into your mat. And then go ahead and rotate it in the opposite direction. And you might find that you get a little sense of space underneath your back here, your low back. And the back of your head might kind of drift closer to the center of the mat. And then do that again, just rotating, letting that pubic bone reach up, low back to the mat. And then go ahead and rotate the other direction. We're just finding some gentle movement here. Let's go do that one more time. And then settle so the low back is pressed gently into the ground. And then check into the rest of the spine, and you can kind of rotate a little bit through the shoulders, just kind of finding a little bit of movement, snuggling down onto the ground. And then let's draw our right knee in and bring our hands up to kind of hug around the upper part of the shin, right below the knee. And as you do this, you're just going to rotate the ankle and continue finding your breath. Soften the shoulders, soft around the face. So we relax the eyes. You let the head rest heavy so there's no tension in the neck. Switching directions if you haven't already with your rotation of the ankle. And then go ahead and release the right leg down. We're going to draw left leg in. Same thing. Just relaxing the body, rotating through the ankle. And don't even worry about what's to come in your day. This is a special time that you get to spend alone, or maybe you've got a partner that you're doing this with, which is wonderful as well. But this is your time to relax and get ready for the day, releasing any dreams from overnight, any stress from yesterday, and letting ourselves open to the possibilities of the new day today. Go ahead and relax the left foot down. We're going to bring our arms out nice and wide to the sides. Take a nice deep breath in and drop your knees to the right. Now we're not taking a full twist here, so if you need to, you can take a block and put it underneath your right leg just for a little bit of support here. I know I get super tight in my hips and my low back in the morning, so a little support is welcome. And then you're just going to take an inhale and you're going to draw yourself back up. And you're going to take an exhale and go to the opposite side. And maybe you notice that one side feels a little stiffer than the other. Take a nice deep breath here. Come back to center on your inhale and drop to the right. Release the breath. Come back to center on the inhale and exhale to the left. Let's do one more time each side. Inhaling, come back to center. Exhaling, drop the knees to the right. And then final time, bring them up and exhale to the left. And then come back to center. We're going to draw the knees, both of them, into the chest. Relax the shoulders, and I invite you to find a little roll from side to side. And then pause in the center, bringing the hands to the tops of the knees and draw them away from one another. So almost as if we're doing happy baby, but we're not bringing the feet or the shins into it just yet. Then from here, we're going to make circles with the hips, and you can guide with your hands, or you don't have to use your hands at all. You can just use the legs. Big circles. And if you have the brain capacity, you can try to do figure eights. I don't think I have the capacity quite just yet, but it's worth a little try, a little fun. And you can switch directions. Good. So now let's go ahead and take our happy baby, lifting the feet to the sky, wrapping the hands on the outsides of the feet, letting the knees drop to the outside of the armpits. And we might try, just for some fun, to straighten out one leg. And you can take your peace fingers, so pointer finger, middle finger, wrap them around your big toe, and then just stretch the leg up and out with the heel. And take a few breaths here as we Stretch into the back of the leg. And let's go ahead and do the opposite foot, opposite leg. So dropping down the one you just stretched, wrapping the fingers around the big toe of the opposite leg and stretching it out and up. Letting the heel reach to the sky. Wonderful. Go ahead and release that down. Both feet down to the ground. And well, I take that back. Right foot down to the ground. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. And we're going to come into figure 4. Now, if you're feeling super stiff in the hips, this might be a great place for you. Just crossing the leg over, taking the left hand and kind of placing it in the center of your thigh, and gently with the meaty part of your hand, the lower part of the hand, just gently pressing and opening that space at the hip crease, pushing it away. We can all try this, I guess, for a few breaths. Feels really good, that little separation there. And then, if you'd like, you can draw the right leg up. And then you'll feel, hopefully, a little stretch on the left-hand side of the hip. And you can also reach through and grab the hands together. If that is not in your practice this early in the morning, you can take a block and put it underneath your foot, and just for support. And this should be just fine. And you can just allow your tailbone to relax down to the ground. And you want to be gentle with the stretch. If we dive too deep into this, like if you went into a pigeon first thing in the morning and you're real stiff in the hips, that's not going to do you any good. It's actually going to probably irritate those muscles. So we want to be really mindful of that. And just soft, slow, mindful movements to begin with. Maybe later on this afternoon, you're ready to dive into pigeon. All right, go ahead and if your hands are clasped, unclasp the hands. And we're going to bring left foot down and we're going to switch it and bring our right foot crossing over. And then just bring the right palm of the hand, pressing it into the little meaty parts of the thigh and pressing up just a little bit, finding some separation in that hip crease. And then let's go ahead and move on to the next stage if you'd like. And you can clasp the hands behind the thigh, or you can take a block or a book or whatever you have that you can place your foot on. And just allow a soft, slow stretch in that right hip. Take a few more breaths here. And then go ahead and untangle yourself, bringing your feet down to the mat. And we're going to do a little rock and roll here. So bringing the hands behind the thighs, drawing the knees in towards the chest. We're just going to rock and roll gently, waking up those back muscles. And then bring yourself into a seat. And then from here, this is where I'm going to use my blocks. So I'm going to draw the sole of my right foot in, and I'm going to take one of my blocks and I'm going to rest it on top of my thigh, right above the knee. And I'm going to take a nice deep breath in, lifting the crown of the head up. I'm going to flex my left foot, and I'm just going to exhale and draw my forehead down to the block, and then I'm just going to let my hands rest. And what I'm doing here is just slowly, again, mindfully stretching out the muscles in the back. I can feel this all the way down to my hips. And if you're feeling like, oh, this isn't enough, you're certainly welcome to lean forward more. You can not use a block and just lean forward. My back is always super stiff in the morning, so I just take a little extra caution. Finding the breath. And this too is where you're welcome to use a bolster. You could drape a bolster across your leg and just take a more of a restorative approach. 2 more breaths. All right, go ahead and lift the forehead, nice and slow. And we're going to switch sides. So we're drawing left foot in, right foot out. Taking that block and resting it on the thigh, lengthening through the spine, flexing through that right foot, and then softening down. Relaxing the arms at your sides. And just really allow that block to take the full weight of your head and support it. Softening in the left leg. If you find that bent knee is up pretty high and it feels difficult to relax, you can always take a block or a blanket and tuck it underneath the knee. Take 2 more breaths here. And then go ahead and gently raise the head up. And we're going to come to our hands and knees. And we're going to thread the needle. You're always welcome to put a little padding underneath your knees if you need to. So in our tabletop position, as we prepare to thread the needle, wrists underneath our shoulders, we got our hips above our knees, tops of the feet pressing down into the ground, and we connect to our belly, our core a little bit. And then when we're ready, we're going to take a nice deep breath in, right hand to the sky. And we're going to exhale and sweep the right hand in between the left arm and the left knee. And you're going to rest for just the amount of time it takes to release the breath. And then engage and come on back up Inhale, open. And exhale. We're waking up that upper spine. Inhale up. And exhale. This time we're going to pause and relax here. So we want to make sure we have lots of space for our shoulder. So if you feel that dropping your side of your head, your temple down to the ground feels like it's too much, put your head on a block. And then you can reach out with the left hand and press into the knees and connect the tops of the toes to the ground. So very active stretch. And you may feel this all the way down the right side of the back. A couple of deep breaths. And then when you're ready, you're going to relax that right arm and pull it out from underneath you, pressing the palm into the ground. Draw the left hand back and coming right back into our tabletop position. From here, we're just going to do a few cat-cows. So taking an inhale, dropping the belly down. And exhale, rotating and arching the spine, relaxing the head and shoulders. And then inhale, back up. And exhale, release. Let's do that one more time. Breathing deeply. Letting the breath start to energize the body as you exhale and stretch through the spine. And then come back to neutral. And we're going to go ahead and thread the needle on the opposite side. So when you're ready, let's take a deep breath in, left hand to the sky. And exhale, float it down. Full breath release, and then inhale, draw it back up. And exhale down. Inhale last time, bring it up. And exhale, we're gonna pause here. So go ahead and grab that block if you need it. We're gonna stretch that right hand out. Relax through the left shoulder, press into the knees, connect into the low belly, and press the tops of the toes into the mat. So nice active stretch. Two more breaths. Go ahead and drag that left hand out from under you, placing the palm on the mat. Draw the right hand back, coming back into your tabletop position. And I invite you just for the next few moments, just to find a little side to side, a little organic movement. And then we're almost done. Let's draw the hands out in front of us just a little bit farther. We're going to turn those toes under. We're going to come into our downward facing dog. Our final stretch, pressing into the palms, clutching with the fingertips, and letting the shoulders do an external rotation. So they kind of turn down and in towards your nose. Elbow pits facing forward. Relax the neck. You can find a little bit of yes or no movement here. And then we're going to connect to our low belly and draw it up. So our hips reach to the sky. And then go ahead and walk your dog if you haven't started already.
This is one of my favorite stretches. Feels so good. Getting all the way from the wrists up the spine, letting the neck decompress. Stretching the calves, getting into the hamstrings, and even into the feet and toes. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then go ahead and pause the feet, bend into the knees, and start to walk the hands back. We're going to come into our forward fold. And then come into the heels and roll yourself up. Big breath in, hands to the sky. And exhale, release down. And here we just set an intention for our day. And I say namaste to you. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful day.